Dude, doesn't that rip?
You're an idiot.
No, you're an idiot.
Welcome back to the pod, everybody. I'm Alex Dragowich. Without our fat co-host, Jeffrey Osmus today. Jeff is somewhere in the woods of Minneapolis, getting high, thinking about killing himself. But we've got a much better guest today, an awesome replacement. We've got Chloe Radcliffe in the building. Chloe, how are you?
Also from the woods of Minneapolis.
Yes. How far from Minneapolis are you?
Like 45 minutes out.
Are you from a burb?
Yeah, I'm from a place that was like the last place before the suburbs ended when I was growing up. And then like the next town over was unincorporated.
Oh, okay.
And now it's like a wealthy bedroom community.
That's cool.
So now people are like, oh, you're from Prior Lake. And I'm like, yeah, we didn't have curbs when I was growing up.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Four-wheelers.
Lots of four-wheelers.
Snowmobiles.
Yeah, lots of snowmobiles. And now it's like Range Rovers.
Really?
Yeah.
What's a wealthy bedroom community? Is that what you called it?
A bedroom community?
Is that what you said?
Yeah, a bedroom community.
What the hell is that?
Come on into my bedroom.
Is that what you said?
Alex.
Did I
that is what I
mishear
said.
that?
No,
What's
you
a
didn't.
bedroom community?
It's like a commuter town. Like all the rich people live there, sleep there in their bedrooms.
Oh, okay. Con, have you heard bedroom community before?
That's a first for me.
Yeah,
It's
first for me
real.
too.
Google it.
I was like, bedroom community. Okay. Well, she's from a bedroom community, and now she's here, New Yorker. How long have you been in New York for?
Almost 7 years.
7 years. How have you liked it?
I love it. It's my favorite place in the world. It's the best city in the world.
And you live in Brooklyn?
Well, now I live in Ridgewood, which is technically in Queens, but I should just say Bushwick because this is an annoying answer.
Oh, wait. I've actually been to your place.
My new place? My current place?
Yeah.
In Ridgewood?
Yeah, because Tommy was staying there.
When were you in my house?
I was in your
right.
house.
You were in my house without me in there.
I never told you.
Wow.
Snuck in there.
I mean, when I
Your
came
place
back,
is big, dude.
yeah, it's a very nice place. I live very far out.
Yeah, but Ridgewood's sick.
Yeah, Ridgewood's great. It looks like a movie set. I love it so much. When my ex and I broke up, another Chicago boy.
Yes.
He moved out. The split was he took the dog and I took the apartment.
That was the place you were at?
A different place.
Oh, okay.
And that was my first place living alone. And so I had a place that was big enough for two people to myself. And then I got kicked out of that apartment because the landlord moved his family in.
Ooh.
So it wasn't I was like, I'm prepared to die in this apartment. I will never leave.
Oh.
And then I got kicked out. And but then I was so fucking spoiled with this old place that then I was like, well, now I have to find someplace.
You can't switch it up.
I can't. It's very hard to downgrade. Yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah.
And yeah, now you're in a nice place in Ridgewood. Now, actually, I did want to get to this. I did want to make it a somewhat of a dating heavy pod today. Because when Geoff is on, Geoff's never really done that. Just like
dated
in general. Like it's just like whenever the topic of dating or anything comes up or relationships, he kind of squirms and squeamish. He doesn't really know what to.
Why do you want to talk about it?
Because I don't really get to talk about it a lot in this pod, and
This guy fucks.
So whenever we have, not this year.
Okay.
This year.
Great. That's what we're gonna talk about.
Down year. Down year.
The numbers are low. The stats are down.
Yeah.
Year over year.
We had the Q4 board meeting. The investors were like, "You don't fuck." That's what they said.
Yeah. We're looking at the numbers here on the paper, and we don't care about all the savings. That's nice.
On and off sinus infections for the last 2.5 months. The patrons know about it. The people know about it. We're not going to talk about it here as much. But that was actually because it's also because you have a show. This is what I wanted to talk about too.
Yes.
You have a show called Cheat.
really early in this to make all of your fans dislike me.
No. I think it's interesting. I still have to see it.
Yes.
Are you touring it?
The aim. Oh yeah. So
I have a million questions.
Yeah. So the show is called Cheat. It's about how I have a history of cheating in most of my relationships.
That's essentially what is the thesis statement of it? Is it you exploring?
The show is me exploring. Yeah, it's a lot of why. It's a lot of like peeling back the layers of my own relationships with my own interaction with relationships and like my own self-esteem stuff, my own like what I learned from my parents, what I whatever, who for the record never cheated. Like it's not like I came from like they were cheating on each other, not at all.
They weren't even swingers.
They were separated. They and never dated anybody else. So like I never saw any romantic relationship. So anyway, yada yada yada. This whole thing, and like I think it's very, very funny, and I have a ton of fun doing it. And also like then there are very, moments that are that feel very bad to say out loud on stage. Like I do not come out of it as the good guy. I think I come out of it like having explained to you what led me to that pattern.
But before I get into, let you get into more of this, I do want to say, because before like the audience hates you.
Me.
I did this year, actually. Yeah, it still wasn't a great year, but I did hook up with a married woman a few times this year. Easily the hottest hookups of my life.
Sure.
It was on a level of excitement, adrenaline.
Yeah.
I thought it was in a Bourne movie.
Yeah, that's why people cheat. Yeah, you feel I talk about it in the show, like you feel like a spy, you feel like a movie character when you're like getting away with something. Of course.
Right.
And of course, like the hottest thing in like most sex that is not vanilla, the thing that makes it hot is that you are not supposed to do whatever you're doing, right?
Sure.
Like the reason people are obsessed with butt stuff is because it's like you're not supposed to do that. Insert anything,
Oh, I never thought about it.
It's like the taboo, and that
Why
you're
don't
like
I do butt stuff?
pushing some boundary.
I don't know. That's interesting.
For you, it's because you have a prostate and it feels nice.
Yeah. Okay.
But like I think that like most of what people are magneted toward in sex is breaking some taboo or pushing against some taboo.
Whoa.
And of course, cheating is a lot of that. I would say, before we get any further, before everybody just absolutely burns down my house, which is not in Ridgewood. My like thesis statement overall about cheating, this is not, I think this is represented in the show, but this is not, this is like how I feel about the topic as a whole, is it is always bad. Always hurts someone 100% of the time. It can be very fun. It can be very hot. It can be very exciting. It can be all sorts of good.
It is
positive things. Yeah.
It is, folks.
It is.
There's no can be.
But it 100% of the time hurts somebody, even if the person doesn't find out. Most of my partners never found out who I cheated on. Like now they will know eventually because of this show. But
wow.
Yeah. But they never. Like I was very secretive about it. I always hid it. I only got caught once. And I was like, it's a victimless crime. It's not hurting anybody if they don't find out. And then I look back and I'm like, that's not true at all. It would have been so much better if they had found out in all directions. It would have been better for me. I would have done it less. It would have been better for them.
Right.
They wouldn't have like felt conflicted. They would have just been like, fuck you, and left.
Sure.
There's so many. Anyway, I was receding for a reason that they couldn't figure out. Anyway, it is always bad. It always hurts somebody. And it happens all the fucking time.
Yeah.
And most people have had some degree of interaction with it, whether they've been cheated on, whether they have cheated, whether they've been the other person, whatever. And no one wants to talk about the act of it.
Yeah.
Plenty of people are like, I got cheated on and I am the victim.
Yeah.
And that is like fair enough.
Sure.
Talk about that. Absolutely. But it's like, if there's a victim, there is a person who did it. There is an aggressor, and nobody wants to talk about being the aggressor. And so I'm like, I'm just the person who's willing to stick a microphone in front of my face and talk about it.
I mean, it's been what I think a lot of people talk about too is like, what people say is like how horny like 20-year-olds are and like 23-year-olds, the young kids. You should see 30-year-olds in like a 7-year relationship.
Yeah.
They're the horniest people on the planet.
Yeah.
Like the married people with like with like one kid, maybe even no kids. They are.
Yeah. They're out.
Two beers in them.
Out.
That's why like office.
They miss being 20.
Certainly.
They miss their 20s.
That's why office holiday parties are like complete shit shows.
Yes. And it's why so many office holiday parties say you are not. I've had multiple friends who are like, my office party did not allow +1s, did not allow significant others at the party because they just know it's going to get so fucking messy.
Oh my God.
That they're like, you know what? We're going to do the party. We haven't canceled it.
No way.
Which is sort of a like what they're sort of doing Vegas rules about The Office.
Oh my God. Yeah, no, that's
The Office is kind of co-signing you cheating.
100%.
Kind of being like, hey, we know you're going to do it. We'll look away.
When you're coming home from because I remember when I first hooked up with this married woman, and I actually went to do a podcast after. I was like,
just buzzing.
was beaming. Yes.
Yeah.
And but also like it's interesting. Like I talked to a couple friends about it, and I had a couple friends who were like, "Wow, that's so hot. That's so cool. It doesn't have anything to do with you. You're not at fault." I did, but I had one or two friends who were like, "Dude, like that's like you're really
That's a bummer.
yeah, you're really kind of yeah." How was your reaction the first time? The first time it happened, but you had done it in every relationship, right? So you did it.
Not every, but most.
How old were you when you first cheated?
In college, sophomore year of college.
Doesn't even count, in my opinion.
Right.
Literally doesn't count.
And that's sort of like what happens. What I like go through in the show is that totally. I was in a long distance relationship with a guy who I didn't really like that much at that point. Who I had like, fallen out of love with. I don't know if I ever was in love with, but whatever. I didn't like him that much anymore.
Yeah.
Kind of wanted to break up with him. Was too young to like really know how to navigate the situation. Kissed somebody who I was at a party, like if I think fully made out, like wasn't just like a peck on the lips, like was like did too much. But totally that like very arguably, if I were to tell you that as like, if that was my only story and I was like, I've cheated, you would be like, no, you fucking haven't.
Sure.
But what that first time did for me, and I don't know that I think this happens for some people. I think it doesn't happen for a lot of people. But what that first time did for me was it taught me you can get away with this and this is okay.
Yeah.
And not necessarily, and the thing is that not like it's okay morally. Like I then tried to break up with the guy, knew that I was like, this is wrong. I'm cheating. That's bad. I like kept hooking up with that guy. Didn't have full sex with him, whatever, like was drawing that line to stay, to like justify it,
Right.
yada, yada, yada. Tried to break up with the boyfriend. The boyfriend said, no, give us another month. If things are bad at the end of the month, then we can break up. But if things are good at the end of the month, then we stay together. It's insane. That guy is like, has a history of being a manipulative, toxic boyfriend. I've had like a bunch of other women who have dated him reach out to me and be like, we fucking hate him. I'm like, okay, awesome.
Oh, wow.
Anyway,
Hate this guy.
but that I was too young. And so I was like, sure, I'll stay for another month.
Right.
Not realizing like, no, you can go, just get out of there. That's a shitty thing to do. Just walk.
Mm-hmm.
And so then we stayed for another month and I learned that it is easier to cheat and get away with it than it is to break up with somebody. And that like got warped. And I'm not saying like one bad thing happened to me and none of it's my fault. Like, no. I for a decade could have like started pulling the reins.
First he was what, 22? 20?
Say it again.
How old are you?
19, I think.
19.
Yeah.
Okay. So 19, and then that relationship ends, and then you probably are starting comedy after college or whatever.
I worked a corporate job. I was a math major, and then I like went into an office job.
So then
for a little while.
Then the next relationship is when? 24, 25?
The thing is that I went from relationship to relationship to relationship to relationship. I was a boyfriend girl. I like was never not dating somebody.
And it was cheating.
There was like a handful on and off, but like for the most part, the vast majority.
Whoa. So so boyfriend number 2 was he after college or still in college?
No, then there was so it's like then there was another boyfriend who I didn't cheat on. Then there was it's not I would say it's not worth going through one by one because there are so many.
Oh.
But like
you've cheated on every one of them?
No, I keep saying this. Almost everyone, but not all.
Why didn't you cheat on the one?
I don't know. It's like it's really
we miss that guy. We love him.
I know.
Is he was he the one that got away?
No.
Never mind.
I don't have I'm now in an incredibly happy, incredibly monogamous relationship with a guy who has seen the show, who saw the show before we started dating. And I really I love him so much. I'm so happy in this relationship. And I do not feel like there's a one that got away before him.
If you cheat on this guy, the writing was on the wall.
Oh, totally. I mean, if I cheat on this guy, yes, first of all, can't say I didn't warn you. But second of all, what's funny, he and I now, probably once a month, he'll just randomly out of the blue go, "Are you cheating on me?" And I go, "No." And truly, if any of my boyfriends had ever said, "Are you cheating on me?" I would have broken instantly.
No way.
Yeah, 100%.
No fucking, absolutely not.
100%.
No way.
Yeah.
You think if any of them go, "Hey, I think you're cheating," I mean, you would go, "Oh yeah, I am."
No. I would have broken down. I wouldn't have been chill about it. I wouldn't have been casual about it. I would have broken down for sure. But it would have.
All they had to say was, Are you cheating on me?
Yes.
Chloe, I don't believe that.
Yeah.
I don't believe it
Yeah.
even for a second. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. Not true.
I mean,
You can't cheat that well.
I would have I would have downplayed.
And like that what's the word I'm looking for? Intensely, like for that long, meticulously.
Yeah, but the thing is that
diabolically, if you want to call it that, and then be like, oh yeah, but yeah, I am. If they go, hey, I think you're.
But it's if somebody I mean, it's the whole. It's like why a criminal confesses. It's because if somebody just faces you directly with it, nobody faces it directly. This is part of the thing.
So many criminals are like, no, I never did that. Like,
sure.
But the criminals are like, no, I didn't murder.
What I'm saying, like, I have an entire solo show where I talk about how I've cheated in almost every relationship I've ever been in. I don't like keeping secrets and am a bad direct liar. I'm very good at obfuscating. But if somebody asks me a direct question, I'm like, I think I'm very readable.
You think you're very readable.
Also,
I refuse.
Also, in all of these relationships, I mean, if you want, the thing is that you don't know me as a girlfriend. Like, sure. I wanted to be done with these relationships. That would be when I would cheat. Instead of breaking up with them, I would just start cheating.
So in this moment, at each kind of juncture when you were cheating, you were already emotionally kind of out of the relationship anyway. So you
for sure.
So it would have been easier for you to. I'll give you that. I'll say it would probably be easier for you to have admitted to cheating, but I don't.
But it's not an admitting. It's a. Your back is against the wall, and can you look this person in the eyes and convincingly say, no, babe, you're making it up. I wouldn't, I can't do that. And I know that that's a weird,
cannot believe that.
I know that that's a weird.
I refuse to believe that, but I think it's interesting. I do. I think it's interesting. I refuse.
If I believed it, it would be interesting.
If somebody said all they had to do was ask, is what you're saying?
I'm saying I would go so far as to say that in most relationships where somebody is having an affair, maybe not all of, I'm sure, I know that a lot of people say, no, baby, you're crazy. But I think that in probably the majority of relationships where somebody is sneaking around, where somebody's having an affair, if the thing is that the person who is being cheated on never wants to ask because I think and this is how I see it. I know that other people might have a different experience, but I think the reason that cheating is so hurtful is because the only possible implication of it is you are not enough. Is the cheater is saying to the person that they are cheating on, you are not enough for me. I am going somewhere else. And it is the direct implication of the behavior. And the person who's being cheated on does everything in them is saying, do not get to that conclusion. Do not look that in the eyes. And so I think it's uncommon for people. I think a lot of people have a lot of suspicions and wonder a lot of things and don't ever directly ask, are you cheating on me?
I'm going to fully disagree with you once again. So only from my two experiences, this was in college. I was with someone 3 times I've been with. I'm not going to start counting, but
he's blushing.
But this girl, I'll give two examples. Was when I was talking about, there's this one girl in college I was hooking up, and she was like, if her boyfriend was on the football team, and when you want to talk about like cheating because this person's not enough, or because they want to leave them. Again, these are just my experiences. I don't know if these are things on the whole, but I have a couple of points. With this woman that I was with, she was like, if my boyfriend finds out, he'll kill you. Like, he's going to beat the shit. He's on the football team. He's like, he'll destroy you. And I was like, oh, okay. So you're not, so in my read on this was, you don't want to leave him. You just want to hook up with me just to hook up with me. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
Have you had that situation? Also, this married woman was adamant that she was very happy in her relationship. But what I am saying, sure. So Claire, maybe I need some
clarity
on this.
But the person being cheated on,
sure,
is still, I think, the interpretation of being cheated on. I think the reason that being cheated on hurts,
sure,
is because the implication is you are not enough. Also, I think that the idea that a marriage can be not enough for somebody or a relationship with a football player can be not enough with somebody, and yet the person wants to stay. I think that those are not mutually exclusive.
Sure.
A person can 100% want to stay in a relationship that is not good for them, or that is not enough for them, or that is not fulfilling them in whatever XYZ way.
Do you think that somebody could be fulfilled in a relationship and also can a guy or a girl be happy in the relationship, go on a work trip and cheat on their spouse and still be happy in their relationship? Because I think that's a massive contingent of cheaters is they people aren't like, they're not like, they don't want to blow up their family or they don't want to leave their spouse. They love their spouse for what they do, for what they serve in their home structure, in their relationship as this like long-term partner. But they're in Tampa for a night and they met some 28-year-old,
And why? Sure. And so why do they cheat in that situation?
In that situation, I'm the novelty of it, right? It's spicy, it's interesting, it's new.
And so you're asking,
what I'm
is
asking,
it possible to want novelty and not feel a lack of novelty in, or insert whatever word?
And have your stable relationship back home? Can it be stable and healthy?
Oh, sure. I think a lot of relationships are like plenty stable when the people cheat. I don't know about healthy. Like I'm not the expert on these random businessmen's relationships, and my gut says that probably there is a lot below the surface. Somebody can have an incredibly stable relationship and not have it be fulfilling in enough ways for them.
I think people can cheat. I think if some guy, again, if anyone, some like business person, they're 48, they're in Tampa for the night.
Weird age gap that you already said that he meets a 28-year-old.
He or she, they meet the 28-year-old and they're going, this is something new. I think that they can.
Why can't the 48-year-old meet a 45-year-old and say this is something new?
No one's hot at 45. No one's hot at 45, in my opinion.
Then why does the 28-year-old want to fuck the 45-year-old?
Power.
48-year-old.
Power, interesting.
Isn't that hot? Isn't power hot?
Power's hot.
Okay, so then didn't you just argue against yourself?
What do you mean?
Isn't a 48-year-old can be hot with power?
Yes, 48-year-old, yes, can be hot because of their status in society. I don't have an issue with age. I don't have an issue.
No, she's just 28, Anyway,
I mean, hopefully she's 28. Hope to God she's not 45.
How old was the married woman
that I was with?
Yeah.
42.
And would you fuck her at 45? Or are you saying she's got 3 years before she expires?
Time will tell.
Jesus Christ.
Time will tell.
Anyway.
She was stunning. She was absolutely stunning.
Okay, so why can't the 48-year-old meet a 42? Anyway, okay, moving on.
It could have been either way.
We'll move past that.
This is a funny podcast. This is a comedy podcast. We're not going after everything I say. After everything I say, I can't go. And by the way, everyone is beautiful.
No. But I'm just saying. Anyway, whatever. You get what I'm saying.
Yes.
You just argued against yourself. You think a 42-year-old's hot, and that's awesome. Anyway, moving on. Cheating.
Yeah. I'm saying in terms of, can someone be? The question is, can someone be genuinely, truly happy in their relationship, and also have a random tryst every
What do you
now
think?
and then? I think so. I think that's possible.
Like, I'm not the expert in cheating. I just happen to be the only person who's willing to talk about it. I'm not like a scientist.
I'm not.
I just did it a lot.
I'm not.
And
like,
I can tell you, for me, I was never satisfied in my relationships when I was cheating.
You were towards the end. You were not yet,
or towards the beginning when I was cheating. Like whenever. It's not. I didn't always wait until the last 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Like there was a time where I was in a relationship and I cheated within a couple months. It was a long relationship, and I cheated within a couple months because I was unsatisfied early.
Yes.
And I still stayed with him for a while.
I did want to ask. Yeah, I wanted to ask. Like, I mean, you wrote this show on cheating. I'm sorry for making you speak on behalf of science, but I thought it was an interesting question. Let's go to a question you can definitely answer. You've dated.
Alex, I'm just.
You've dated a few comics.
I answered all your questions. Yeah.
Why?
Why have I dated comics?
Yeah.
I think I have dated 2 comics very seriously. One of them is my current boyfriend. One of them is the Chicago guy. And
Unreal.
have you ever dated a comic?
Of course not. Of course not.
Why would you not?
We're not. There's no stability like on our ends. I hate to be the guy that's like, we're so fucked up, but for the love of
totally.
But I do think that you are inherently a little bit too, and to simplify it in a shitty way would be like, if a couple is like, you want a couple to be like someone to be like the yin to your yang or something like that, right? I think often comedians are 2 yins or 2 yangs. I think they're a little bit too.
But how would you know that having not dated a comic?
I've been around many. I've been around quite a few.
Yeah, I don't know.
You know what I'm saying?
The second that I started dating the guy from Chicago, I was like, oh, this feels so much better than any other relationship I've ever been in.
Hilarious guy. Yeah, I understand. I know. I get
so funny.
I get the allure.
No. But the allure is not the. Yeah. The funniness is like, it's awesome. But I had dated other funny people. It's that like, if I need to take a show last minute and we had a date scheduled, we both understand it. I can be like, hey, let's not.
Same industry. Yeah.
Let's not do this date tonight. Let's do it tomorrow night. If I can talk about my life is work. Like my whole life is the entertainment industry. It's all I do. It's all I think about. I'm not having kids. I'm not like, this is my whole thing.
Sure.
And so what I want to talk about, I like the idea of being able to talk about my life and my career and the people around me with the person who I also love and am spending most of my time with was just awesome. And like, and I really, I think he's so smart, and I like always really, really trusted his opinion, and I wanted to hear his thoughts on all sorts of things.
Yeah.
And I feel the same about my current boyfriend, where it's like, I love the idea that my boyfriend is also the person the person whose opinion I want to hear.
Sure. Well,
Plus
he's your, yes, a comic, dating another comic. Those are all like great benefits.
Also, I will say, like, I think I dated 2, dated and.
Have you only
and
dated
dating,
one comic?
And my current boyfriend.
Oh, that's it?
I mean, I've like hooked up with other comics, but like been in a relationship with just the 2 of them. I just like, and both of them are like wonderful, grounded people, as opposed to like, yeah, there's a lot of comedians who I would not fucking get close to.
Sure.
You, for example.
Sorry.
No, there's plenty.
Don't I know it, folks?
There's plenty of comedians who I would never date in a fucking heartbeat. You couldn't pay me to make out with, like, nothing. Absolutely not. I'm not saying that like being a comedian is a badge of is a good sign. Not at all.
It feels like you're flying close to the sun in the respect that it's like you're. So if both people want to be the star, that can be kind of. I think that's what it comes down to. You have 2 people that are like, hey, watch me, people. Hey,
sure.
I need the attention. People, I think ideally, in the relationships that I've, it's been nice to be with someone who doesn't need to be the center.
So you can have the attention. Yeah,
of course,
totally.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely. I think both of the comedian boyfriends that I have had and do have are. I think that they are like off stage less of the attention seekers. I think I am definitely more of the attention seeker.
That's huge. Yeah.
Right? Like think about my ex. You don't know my current boyfriend, but like I think off stage, like,
would I know your current boyfriend if you told me off air?
Probably not. He's British.
Oh. Like he's in London?
He's here right now. He's in my apartment.
He lives in London.
Yeah.
Oh, long distance? Mm-hmm. Across the pond?
Across the pond.
Huh. You can't see each other every month then, can you? Do you?
Yeah, we see each other. We usually go like a month on, month
It's
off.
like going to
month off,
LA though, right?
month on, month off. Yeah.
Essentially. Okay, we can talk about that in a bit. Damn, you're throwing curveballs here, folks. Wow. So British guy, but okay, I'm trying to think of do you think
I also think that like comedians are smarter than everybody else, are like have a specific type of smartness that once you taste that, you're like, it's really hard to go back.
yeah, what's the word?
Like I then like went and dated a bunch of normal people after my ex, and they're all wonderful, awesome, but it's just not.
Comedians are incredibly perceptive people and like sharp in that sense.
And so good at describing like what, like they can see a situation and like give you in a sentence exactly what's going on in a very funny and very incisive way.
Yeah.
Because that's the job.
Yeah.
And when you don't have that anymore, it is like.
Was it nice like when you're with a comic, let's talk about talking about your Chicago ex. Was it I guess now I am asking because I wouldn't even know. I always feel like it would be so weird to be like, you're post coitus with someone and being like, why won't that booker like get back to me, you think? Or why won't, like, you know what I'm saying? What are those conversations?
I guess it's just that like we're enough of adults that those conversations happen like more than 3 minutes apart, It's not, we're not like laying there like, pulling the wet condom off being like, I really want to get in at Gotham. It is like we are adults. We are like fully functioning. And there are comedians who are like that, and those are the people who I would never fuck, who I would never date.
Sure. I understand. Yeah, because it just feels
I would say my ex had a rule of no bits in bed. That it was like, we're not trying to be funny about.
I mean, of course, right?
Yeah. No, because
how often are you doing bits?
No, not me, but our other friends. We would talk about this, and this was like a common topic, and there were
people are doing bits in bed.
Bits in bed. Bits like during sex.
Like accents?
or like funny, I think like funny, like repetitive bits when there's like a weird noise, or when like somebody says something and it comes out weird, like if you're dirty talking and it comes out weird, they'll like make that into funny.
Oh, right.
And of course, like there are sometimes when you make that into funny and it's great, but like for the most part,
I don't, yeah.
Yeah.
No bits in bed.
Yeah.
Were you doing bits? And was he like,
No.
And he was like, hey.
No. It was in response to another couple friend of ours.
Okay.
She was saying that the boyfriend was doing bits in bed. And we were like, no.
Yeah. I think now I do have questions about, because like, I've always had reservations about it. So here's some of my other reservations.
Right. Hit me.
What happens when your partner, like, how does it feel when your partner sees you bomb or sees you in a low, like, I feel it would be, something like that. It's like when you're kind of.
I mean, when the relationship is like a trusting, loving relationship.
Yeah.
I'm like, if I had a bad set, or now if I have a bad set, like all I want is for my boyfriend to comfort me. Like I want my boyfriend to have seen it so that I can be like, that wasn't me, right? Was that the audience was weird? Or be like, I fucked up. I completely fucked this part, and I like crowd worked in a weird way that people then felt was mean, and I like could never win him back. And like talk about that with the person who I love and the person who I want to be with.
Right. I can't stop thinking about how your boyfriend is in London now.
Okay, hit me.
You're gonna cheat on this guy. I mean, he's gonna be like, "What? Are you serious?" And you're gonna be like, "You're in London, dude."
Well, it's funny. The reason that we are in a monogamous relationship is my choice, because I went into this. First of all, we met at the Edinburgh Fringe, which is like a month-long performing arts festival in Scotland.
Yes.
And I was doing this solo show about my history of cheating. And he saw the show, and we had a bunch of mutual friends, and we were hanging out a ton, and we both were like, we're never gonna see each other again. This is gonna be a fun like 2.5 week, like the last 3 weeks of the festival. We're together, it can get very intense, and like it's
like summer camp.
Summer camp. It's a camp relationship. And then at the
Those
end,
are hot.
Very hot. And I bought lingerie on the second night we slept together, because like I showed up in lingerie.
Oh wow!
Because it was like, who gives a shit? This is £7 at Primark, which is like just show up. Like it's like, Who fucking cares? Have fun. Go nuts.
I have a quick note on lingerie.
Right?
I don't get it. What's going on?
What do you not get about lingerie?
I've been
Because I have the solution. Yeah,
I've been walked in on with lingerie, you know?
Wait, you wearing lingerie?
Yeah, me never. Yeah, but I've had that happen to me. And I remember all I was thinking was like, this is coming off.
And the secret is don't take it off.
Huh? You don't take it off?
Try it.
Oh.
Ruin it. It's going to be ruined.
Right.
But like,
So
don't
you
give a shit
take
that
it
it's
off.
going to get ruined.
So then, okay. So then you can pretend you're like, it's like an 1800s, like she's a 1800s, like
What lingerie
saloon
is this
prostitute.
woman wearing?
Wait, am I off?
He's got a woman walks in wearing like bloomers and a corset.
I'm thinking
She's
of,
just
like-
off stage from a play, and Alex is like, "Oh, so you're trying to hit on me?"
I recall it looking kind of like Moulin Rouge-esque, like 30s
She was
New York.
dressing up for Halloween. That was
Probably.
not lingerie.
I don't.
Lingerie is
I
like
think
a little, like a
No.
little thong, you know?
This was. It was red.
Okay.
That's what maybe. Yeah, maybe. No, it wasn't Halloween. This was lingerie, but it wasn't. Yeah, it was probably a little less.
Like if it's strappy, like pull on the straps, pull stuff to the side, just leave it on.
Leave it on.
That's why it's fun. Yeah, of course. If you just take it off, then you're like, you look pretty. Anyway, now you look normal. Now you look the same as you always do. Of course. Then it's totally pointless.
Oh,
Use it.
interesting. Okay. You know what? Okay. Sorry. I'm sorry to
Please
interrupt,
pull this clip to put at the front of the podcast to win all of the lonely boys
Were
who
you about
watch
to
this
say
podcast
incels?
are gonna all of the
Come
incels who
on.
watch this podcast are gonna hate me so fucking much. But they will like that I gave them a tip, and so just put that at the beginning.
I think you'd honestly be shocked at how many women listen to
Oh,
it.
great.
It's very strange.
Great.
We don't really get it, but we love you guys.
Great. Then I love you.
But yeah, no.
And I love the incels. And I love the incels.
Don't buy assault rifles, guys. Wait another week, please.
Just leave the lingerie on.
Just leave
Here's your
lingerie.
tip.
That's a great tip.
Yeah.
That's a great tip. Okay, I had another question about cheating.
Great.
I love.
You have other questions about London?
No, I don't have any questions about London.
This is what I was saying. So I wound up. It was the Writers Guild strike that summer.
Yeah.
And so I didn't have anything to come back for. And so I wound up being like, fuck it. How about I stay in London? He was like, live with me in London.
Oh.
And I wound up staying for a month, an extra month after. So we were together for 2 months straight. And I was going into it being like, we have to be open. We can't be monogamous because you know my history. We've come in like we are being so open and upfront about this conversation.
Yeah.
There is no fucking way that we are going to do long distance monogamous.
Right.
Totally. I was on that train.
Lovely.
And then he was like, 100%, I'm up for that. We were going to go 7 weeks without seeing each other and then see each other for a month again. And he was like, when we decided to stay together, can we do that 7 weeks monogamous, not permanently, but 7 weeks monogamous so that we can, because what we are trying to do is get data on whether we can do long distance at all. We are in data collecting mode. We are not, is he autistic? Absolutely.
Sure.
We are trying to figure out whether this will work at all or whether we're going to have to be like, hey, that was a fun 2 months, see you never.
Yeah.
And so if we add other people into that, we're going to get the wrong data. Can we just do 7 weeks monogamous? Then we're going to see each other for a month and then we will reassess the whole thing. And I was like, yep, that's fair enough. I can do 7 weeks. Absolutely. And at the end of, so 7 weeks and then the month. And it was like, oh, I just want to be with you. We would not have the relationship that we have right now if we were not monogamous, if we were open, because you wind up prioritizing other people and you wind up being split and you wind up not having, I think in an open relationship, it's fine. People can make it work, but I think you inherently don't give 100% of yourself to a person. And I have given 100% of myself to him in a way that I've never in any other relationship, in a way that I don't think I was able to in all of my other relationships before I honestly did this goddamn show where I spent a year peeling back, like, why have I done this bad thing so many times?
I understand that. Chloe, you also can't give 100% to someone that lives in another country. You know what I'm saying? It's like a very, like, this is what I'm saying. It's like, that's the difficult, like, the kind of deep waters that you're kind of entering here too. Where it's
have entered for a year and a half.
A year and a half?
Yeah.
Oh, damn. Well, let me bite my tongue for a second. A year and a half, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Every other month?
Yeah. So oftentimes, like, We'll go
You
like
should do like you should do like will you guys do like long like sequences, like weeks, or like will you ever do like a whole month out there or something
all
like
the time.
that?
I said earlier. I said a month on, month off.
Are you gonna
Yeah.
move out there?
No. He's gonna move here.
Oh, okay, cool.
But also, but he will always spend at least a third of the year there. He owns a production company in London that like does a ton of like he just directed James Acaster's HBO special that just
That dude's
came out.
so funny.
Yeah, and Stuart and James are like best friends, and Stuart just directed and produced that.
Okay, cool.
So like Stuart will always have work there. He'll always do a third of the time there. I go to LA a lot. I'm on the road a lot. Like
yes,
we're apart anyway a lot.
that's actually comic relationships. They do because you know how many New York, LA people have done this?
Yeah.
It does happen.
Can we go?
I'm just trying to what I'm trying to do is I'm
just trying to say you're 100% wrong, Chloe, and then walk that back by 5%.
Well, because I'm trying to prove to myself that like by staying away from comics that I've been doing the right thing.
Yeah.
But the more and more, the longer you do this, the more you get into it. These are like the people that
These are the people that you're around, of course.
around.
And they're the people who understand what matters to you. Not just the calendar stuff, but like literally what is important.
I know. The comic that I was into the last couple of months, we were close, but she's a Zionist. We can't do it.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah, that'll do it.
Here's another question
Great.
For you. Here's my hot take. I think it's okay to sleep with your ex. Have you done it? When have you done it? And how was it?
I have done it. What do you mean you think it's okay to sleep with your ex? Like when are you saying like while
Here's
you're in
why.
the next relationship, or are you saying once you've broken up it's okay to keep hooking up?
I think so. In the times that I've done it, we've been like we hadn't talked in maybe like 3 years.
Also, it's very funny to hear you be like, just say a thing that you have 100% done and be like, and I think that is okay for everyone.
And everyone should do it. It is my hot take. I think that sleep. Here's why I think it's okay to sleep with your ex. And in the times that I've done it, we hadn't talked in like 3 or 4 months, sometimes like 6 months or whatever. I think that the thing with sleeping with your ex is as you get older, in college it's a little more muddy, but like when you get older, you realize the finality of a breakup. You're like in terms of adults, like you have you understand that it didn't work. And oftentimes I've viewed hooking up with an ex as like this kind of, it's not going to work between you two. You're not trying to get back together. You're both like had been drinking on a Friday.
Horny and alone, and you know each other's bodies really well. And
that's why I think it's like, I think in the majority of exes hooking up, unless you're like saying some wild shit, like being like, I miss you, I want to see you, like da-da-da-da, or whatever. Like,
which I think that's like normal shit. Like, I don't think that's particularly wild. I think it's irresponsible, yeah.
Sure.
But like, I think a lot of people say, I miss you, I want to see
if
you.
you're saying like, it has to
Like,
be.
how did you open it with your ex? Hey, I don't miss you, and I don't want to see you in that way, but I would love to stick my dick in you. You want to come over? Like, what? Like, how do you not be a little romantic about that?
What I did was I was so
I would love to stick my dick in a thing, and you are alone.
I was drunk on a Thursday.
Okay.
Sadly, going through my ex's Instagram,
Sure.
and I was just like scrolling.
And this doesn't count as wild. Yeah, keep going.
So wild, yeah. And I liked one of her like posts from like 2016 or something like that, and I texted her the next day. She didn't even say anything. I texted her the next day. I was like, hey, I don't know if you saw that. Sorry about that. That was weird. Was just thinking about you. And she was like, I've been thinking about you too. Are you around later?
Yeah.
It was like we were actually sober, but there was no like, I guess to me, I missed you is a little bit more. I've said I missed you too, but it's but
and I think it is okay to say I miss you to an ex.
I think sometimes you're you in the back of your mind at least know like it's probably not going to happen again. So I think there's like I think hooking up with your ex is like a fun thing that is, as long as you're relatively well adjusted,
Oh, sure.
It's like
Also, as long
it's
as like,
fine.
I mean, the problem is that like, it all depends. And I'm sorry that this isn't like a fun comedy answer, but it
No.
all depends on the situation, right? Like, if the breakup was like, hey, you want to move out of New York and I want to stay in New York and like we really like each other, but not enough to fight for it.
Sure,
But
yeah,
you're
yeah.
still in New York for the next couple months.
Yeah.
And 2 months down the road, you're like, you want to fuck again one last time? Great. Like, sure. Of course that's fine. If the breakup was like, we tried to break up for a year and we could never quite make it happen. And it's been an incredibly toxic relationship. And one person wants to go cold turkey and the other person is like, please, no, just keep talking to me. And then you keep
Ooh.
fucking. Like, no, then that's going to be, or
Yes.
also like, sure, fucking do it. You're just making it harder for yourself down the road, but like knock yourself out. Do whatever you're going to do.
Right. What were the scenarios that you'd hooked up with your ex?
One was the second one that I just described, that direct one. And then
So one was trying to leave, one was hanging on for dear life.
it was just like, yeah, it was this incredibly intense, very toxic, very unhealthy relationship. And then one was my other most toxic, most unhealthy relationship. And we were dating right before I moved to New York, and he wanted to move to New York with me, and I said no.
Oh,
We were still dating.
this is in Minneapolis?
Yeah, but we were then still together, and then and like, of course, and this is a clear, like, in retrospect, I just didn't want to be with him, right? Like,
Sure.
that's what it is. And then I went home, like the first 1 or 2 times that I went home, we hooked up.
Definitely.
And it like feels amazing. It
Sure.
feels incredible to have a person
Super hot.
who not just, and the sex is very hot, but also like to be like cared for. It's like to go from 0 being cared for to 100. Like in the relationship you built from like 0, we don't know each other, up to 100, we're intensely together.
Oh.
And then like you break up and now you're back at a 0 in that specific way. And you go 0 and then you like pop in at Thanksgiving or whatever the fuck. And all of a sudden it's in like, like you're in like Titanic again immediately. Yeah, it feels amazing. Of course it does.
I think any of our
It's
listeners.
just not necessarily smart.
I think yeah, it's not smart.
So it depends on what
It's
your
not
definition
smart.
of okay is, you know?
I
Is
don't.
it okay like you're gonna die? No. But
That's
is it
what I'm
okay,
saying,
like
yeah.
you're gonna feel real stupid? Probably.
I think it's like not. I don't think it's detrimental. Like I don't think it's detrimental. I
think it can be detrimental
Okay, so okay, why do you think it can be detrimental?
in the situations that I just described.
But do you think? But the problem is that as long. I mean, when you hooked up with your ex, like on Thanksgiving, or whatever, he wasn't like, well, maybe she'll move back. You know?
Oh no, but
Then
he
how is
was
that-
like, maybe we can like figure something out. Maybe
Ooh.
we'll get back together. Maybe
heart
I'll
breaks for this man.
maybe I'll move there. Maybe yeah. It's never. That's what I'm saying is like when it is a transactional agreement, when both people are like, we know what this is.
Hey, whatever. It's 2 a.m. I miss you too.
Right. And we both know, like, we have no intention of getting back together, and the breakup was not hyper loaded.
Yeah.
Sure. Then I don't think it's detrimental.
Yeah, I guess if the breakup was
Loaded?
rocky,
Yeah.
if the breakup was intense,
Of course.
then
Have you had an intense breakup?
college long distance. We after I transferred, it felt collegey. You know what I'm saying? 2 others were not intense. We were pretty adult about it.
Yeah.
Both were both were pretty like they were pretty like sad, but not like
Yeah, of course, a breakup is sad, but it's not. It wasn't. You didn't get your heart broken. She didn't get her heart broken.
I think
Nobody's
the
scarred.
first one, when I was like 27. I think I don't think I broke her heart. We were only together for like a year, but like we were. But I think she handled it pretty well. She actually met her husband like 3 months later. I think she's fine. with
Yeah,
that.
I think everybody's fine.
Yeah.
It doesn't sound like you have had that many
the
big relationships.
That's true. I would say 3. I would say 3. So
And,
so
like,
not a ton.
One of them is a year that ended in like a pretty,
That one was and then the one
and one of them was college.
was right before. So that was mid-20s. I had like college, mid-20s, and then late 20s. The late 20s one, she broke up with me, and I acted like I was fine, but then whenever I'd get drunk, I'd just be like,
Like, did you two ever hook up again then?
Yes.
And how
Few
was that?
times. Incredible.
And did it feel smart?
It felt. That's the thing. I was certain. I was certain it was. I was never gonna put myself in a scenario to like try to get back with her. And I was pretty certain that she wasn't. But I knew that like those nights were, if I texted her, she texted me, and I knew that those were like, I think I knew they were subconscious. I knew that they were one-offs, which I was like, I think this is fine.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, if you know that there's no hope, or if you know that it's over, that it like really is over. Yeah.
I had no hope, folks. I had no hope.
Are you a rules guy? Like, do you have a lot of rules for yourself in your life? Even if they're not like the normal Christian rules or whatever, but just like, do you have a lot of like, this is the rule that I live by?
I have a salad every day. I'll tell you that much. Every single day.
Yeah.
Don't get it twisted, sister.
Yeah.
Every day.
I was gonna get it twisted, and then I didn't.
But are you talking about like morally?
No, it just seems like you seem like you draw a lot of black and white lines.
Sure.
And then when presented with like more nuance about the situations, then you're like, I guess maybe there is more. Like, I do not date comics. And then you're like, and then the more I think about it, like maybe it would be fine to date comics. You're like, that long distance will not work. You will cheat on him. And then you're like, oh, it's funny. You're okay.
I hope my tone hasn't been like
no.
aggressive.
But I'm just saying, like, you like make a lot of
like grand statements,
and like maybe that's because we're on a podcast, but It doesn't see. I think that people's personalities come out. You know, like my personality is coming out on a podcast of me being like, well, there's always a new.
Well, I'm saying, I'm coming to you with being like, I think dating comics is stupid, and you're like, well, it's actually not that stupid. And I go, it's maybe. I was like, I still don't.
That's
like,
what I'm saying. I'm saying like,
agree.
I think you seem like you have like hard and fast like boundaries in your life. And I'm not even saying the boundaries are bad. They're fine. Like, don't date comics. You will probably be happier for it.
I'm happy to state like my beliefs and but I'm also very happy to be. I'm very willing to be like wrong, or to be if I have like, if there's holes in my theories.
Yeah.
I welcome them with open arms.
Yeah.
You know, but I'm happy to state initially, like, hey, this is how I feel about something.
Yeah.
You know, and that's why I wanted to talk to you about that
Yeah.
too. You know, I think it's interesting, and I'm not saying that you've like that these are like grave mistakes. I'm sincerely interested. I think a lot of our comic friends who have been in long-term relationships, I don't think that they regret them really either. You know, I think they would classify them as mostly healthy.
Yeah, I don't.
At least from the ones that I'm.
I guess we just made a big turn into like most of our friends' relationships healthy.
Right. I think our friends are doing fine. We got to.
I hope they're okay.
We got to roll this into the Patreon. I have so much more stuff to talk about. I really do. We've got questions. We have questions from the patrons. Damn, I really wanted to get to this. We'll try to get. I'm sorry. I love to talk about dating. I love talking about relationships. I don't get to do it when Geoff's on, so I'm glad that you were here and wanted to do this. But quick, do some plugs. Where are you going? Where are you touring? Where can people find you?
Yes. When does this come out?
Connor, when does this come out?
It's coming out on Monday. Let me look at the date for you.
Is that the 13th?
Fast.
It's
on the 13th. It'll be public. Patreon on Friday.
Awesome. So when this comes out this weekend, the 17th, 18th, I am in Fort Collins, Colorado at the Comedy Fort. Then I am at San Francisco Sketch Fest should I do this to the camera? This weekend I'm in Fort Collins, Colorado at the Comedy Fort. Then I'm in San Francisco at San Francisco Sketch Fest, like a week and a half later. Then in February I'm in DC at the DC Comedy Loft. All my dates are on ChloeRadcliffe.com. I am at Chloe Badcliffe on all socials, and I have a tandem biking web series. I biked here in the snow. These are the boots I wore for the snow.
Boots, if you can't see them.
I have a tandem bike web series where I put a comedian on the back of a tandem bike, and ride around and ask them questions.
Damn, she's done it. Guys find her. Are you touring Cheat more, or are you doing your? Or is your stand is a hour?
The stand up is an hour that is 100% different from Cheat.
Yeah.
A completely separate hour, because I was like, I can't lock like the sweet people of Fort Collins, Colorado into a room and be like, now you're going to listen to an hour about a topic that makes most people uncomfortable, and then at the end it gets sad about my dad. You know, I can't be like, now you paid $15 to listen to some nice comedy, and then here's what you got to deal with.
That's really, really smart.
So I have a completely separate hour.
Well, see either of her hours out on tour, guys. She's one of the best in the game. Chloe Radcliffe, we're going to the Patreon. We'll see you next week.
Dude, doesn't that rip?
You're an idiot.
No, you're an idiot.